but mental health concerns, all of us. And so I've asked Lori Criss, who heads up our department, who's the Director of Mental Health and Addiction Services, to talk for just a few minutes about exactly some ideas she has and some things that are going on out there. Again, keeping our mental health strong, healthy, is very, very important. Lori? Director, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Governor.
You look like you're in your home. Are you home?
I am at home, yes.
Thank you very much.
It's good to be here. And I'm here to talk today about how we can take care of our whole health, our total health. And while we're all busy focusing on our physical health care and staying home to help support the health of all Ohioans, it can be stressful for all of us. And so after working in the recovery field for about 30 years, there's a lot of wisdom and information that I've gleaned based on research and also on the experience of people in recovery. I rely on it each day to keep a healthy balance, and so I want to share that for all Ohioans to learn from this wisdom. The first thing that we think about is that recovery and wellness, it takes a lot to be well and stay well, and that includes having a safe place to live, having physical and emotional health, a sense of purpose, and a connection to community. So I'll spend a little bit of time talking about that today. Home has taken on a new meaning for all of us right now. And as you talked yesterday, Governor, not all Ohioans have a safe place to live. So the Dewine administration, along with local partners and our statewide community coalitions, are working really hard to make sure that every Ohio family, youth, or adult who are experiencing homelessness have a safe place to live and be well. And that work is continuing all day, every day. We also know that for others of us, home is now very different. It's our office, it's our school, it's our playground, it's our movie theater. And for some of us, we are spending a lot of time with our roommates, our families, maybe a little too much time, and this can be stressful in different ways. And for those of us who are living alone, it can be lonely, and that can be stressful too. So we've got a lot of good things happening, things that are going well, and good resources for all of us. For those of us who are staying home right now, able to do so, to make our contribution to flattening the curve, some strategies that we can use are waking up at the same time every day and showering and getting dressed and starting off about our day, having meals at normal times, and really keeping a schedule for ourselves in our household. Scheduling in leisure time too. And if we're able to create a space for school or work, to do that away from our other activities to give us a sense of normalcy. And if you live alone, reach out to friends and family each day so that you're able to really connect with them and not feel lonely or isolated. If you have a neighbor that lives alone, older adults for sure, but neighbors of any age, please reach out to them as well. Leave a kind and cheerful note, offer to run an errand, just give them a call to say hello. I want to emphasize checking on friends and family and neighbors who live alone is really important right now. It can be difficult to spend that much time by themselves. And so making sure that they're okay, giving them a chance to talk about their worries, their stresses, and also giving them an opportunity to, enjoy memories together or talk about things they're looking forward to. Those are helpful for all of us in decreasing the isolation that people might be feeling. And if home is hard for you right now, maybe you don't have enough food or you're not living in a safe environment, it's important to reach out for help. There are food pantries, social service agencies that can help meet your needs. And we urge you to reach out to them and take advantage of the help that's being offered. Health is another essential element of staying well and being well, not just our physical health, but our mental, emotional, social, financial, and spiritual health too. So Stay in touch with your primary care doctor if you have chronic illnesses and medication management issues, and if you have any new symptoms too. Also, stay in touch with your mental health and addiction counselors if you're already in treatment for those issues, and if not, reach out to them. Both physical health care doctors and mental health and addiction centers are open, and you need to reach out to them and see if you can connect by telehealth or if there's an option for you to come in person if it's something that needs to be seen in person. Also, if you're involved in a faith community, stay connected to your faith leaders. Reach out and see ways that you can be connected to online or Facebook opportunities to gather with other members of your faith community. And go to the coronavirus.ohio.gov page so that you can learn more about resources for faith communities too. And maybe just spending time in nature can be really helpful for your spirit as well. So we know that being outside, getting fresh air, listening to the birds, seeing the signs of spring, sitting by water, these can all have calming effects. And it's a good opportunity for us to do that for ourselves each day. Even just sitting still and breathing or just clearing your mind can be really helpful for all of us in terms of our mental health. Living with purpose contributes to our sense of wellness, and for all of us, that might look a little different. It might be working or volunteering, going to school, parenting, taking care of family members or pets. And that might be different today than it was a month ago. And so some things that we need to pay attention to in creating some balance and wellness for ourselves here are, if you're working or studying for home, you might find that you're at a relentless pace right now where you're not having the same kind of social opportunities with your coworkers or your teachers or your classmates. So build that in for yourself and set a schedule. Without that, you could work from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. So really build in that social time for yourself as well. Also, if you're someone that likes to volunteer and your volunteer opportunities aren't the same right now, the state has created volunteer opportunities for the COVID-19 emergency that we're in. So go to togetherohio.gov and you can find volunteer opportunities there. Create some time and space in your home if you have the ability to do that, and that will help you create some opportunities for doing your purposeful activities in the work and school environment, and then having other space in your home to enjoy your family or leisure time. And then set boundaries for yourself too. Remember to halt. If you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, you can give yourself a break and take care of your own needs as well. And thinking about community, it's important to remember that school is community for the young people in our lives. And that after school activities like music, sports, and clubs are really important places that the kids in our lives find community too. Developmentally, friends are of primary importance to kids, especially to teenagers. So create opportunities for your kids to connect with their friends and their classmates in new and different ways right now. Remind them that this is a temporary way to connect and that they'll be able to see each other again in person in the future. Listen to questions that your kids have and answer them honestly. Monitor the media that they're exposed to so that you know the kinds of messages they're getting through social media, and use trusted resources of information. Let them express their feelings and help them manage their worries, and think about ways that they have opportunities to be in control right now in their lives. And for older kids, give them some time and space to connect with their friends to get this kind of support too. Kids get that support differently from their friends than they do from adults. I'm hearing a lot about people struggling to stay connected to their recovery supports. And this would include things like AA or NA or SMART recovery for people struggling with alcoholism or addiction. And that connection is really a lifeline for many people. So I want to take a minute to talk about that. For our friends in recovery, these are really hard times and you can do hard things. The opposite of addiction is connection. So it's vitally important that you stay connected to your recovery supports. You can connect with peers in recovery through phone calls. There's recovery coaching opportunities that are available. There's online meetings and meditation groups. All of these things are available. They might be different than what you're used to and seeing people in person and getting that support, but they are effective and we urge you to use them. Ohio Citizens Advocates for Addiction Recovery has a website that has a lot of great information about linking to these resources, so I urge you to connect with that. And if you have a family member that's living with or recovering from alcoholism or addiction, I urge you to reach out and encourage them to stay connected to their recovery supports or to get help for the first time if they haven't before. Please don't let stigma or discomfort stand in the way. These are potentially life-threatening illnesses, so we need to make sure that all of our friends and family are taking care of themselves. So make that effort and do that today. Ask them how it's going. Ask them if they're staying connected to their recovery supports, and let them know that you care and that you're here to help. The same is true for people living with mental illness. Reach out and support them and let them know that you care and that you would be able to be helpful to them in reaching out for their treatment and their recovery as well. And for the families of people living with mental illness and addiction, I urge you to stay connected to your support groups as well. Groups like the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill, NAMI, have local groups around the state, and they're there and available to help connect you to resources if you need. If you know someone who's feeling helpless or hopeless, or like they might hurt themselves, please, I urge you to have them call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. And for all of us, there are lots of ways that we can connect to the emotional support that we need right now. The coronavirus.ohio.gov website has some really helpful tips on managing COVID-19 related stress and anxiety. And there's also a tab called Resources for Adults that will link you to videos and online support, apps that you can use to support your mental health and addiction recovery too. And finally, I'd like to just close with some wisdom that my friends and family in recovery live by and that I find helpful each day. Seek serenity to accept the things you cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Live one day at a time. This together, Ohio.